Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Travis Marshall with another edition of Lunch Punch brought to you by GrillChristian.com. Again, just very quickly, I want to say a big thank you to those of you that are supporting and sharing and liking and commenting on this video. You're so kind. I appreciate that. That's amazing. Let's get the word out. Let's flood the social stratosphere with some good, not only positive, but godly things. So anyways, thank you so much for that. All right, so let's get to it for today's edition of Lunch Punch. We're going to be looking at 1 Peter 5, verses 6 and 7. And it says this, it says, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, so that he can exalt you at the proper time." And then it goes on to say in verse 7, "Casting all your cares upon him, all your anxieties upon him, because he cares for you." So I just want to lift a few things from these passages as I share this with you. So I love the contrast that you see in this passage. One in verse 6, and then there's one in verse 7. It begins with the command that is kind of the end of a line of thought, like he'd already given the reason. I encourage you to read chapter 5 of 1 Peter on your own. But he ends here, and he says this, he says, "Humble yourselves so that God can exalt you." See, it's a very interesting thing, and he's actually talking about advancement in ministry specifically, but I think the principle can be applied to anything you're wanting to advance in the business world, in as being an employee at the job, whatever it may be, in your family. And if anytime you're looking for advancement, it's the idea is by hook or by crook, however you can make it sometimes. Be first or be better or cheat. And that's just not the way that God would have you be and would have you conduct yourself. He says this, humble yourselves. Now, he's not saying fly under the radar. Remember, I would refer to the past couple of editions of Lunch Punch to kind of qualify this. But suffice to say for this, he's talking about humble excellence, like humble, consistent, faithful excellence in whatever it is you're doing. Again, not just kind of flying under the radar, doing minimal effort. No, you put out everything you got qualitatively, quantitatively, consistently in every area and opportunity that you have. And what God is saying, what the promise is, what Peter's saying and what God's promise is that his mighty hand is going to take your humble situation and he's going to exalt you. See, the cool thing about this is this, as I've heard it put by other ministers, is that when we allow God's mighty hand to exalt us, well, the responsibility is now on him to sustain it. The challenge is sometimes we get the cart before the horse and we want to exalt ourselves under our own hands. Problem is that never ends well, and we've made ourselves responsible. We can't blame God for our mess ups when we didn't, did it out of time, which actually leads to the other point where it says that at the proper time. God knows when. You don't want to get ahead of God's plan. You don't want to get behind it either. So I want to impart that for verse 6. Let's move on to verse 7. It actually kind of further goes on. He'll exalt you at the proper time, casting all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. I love this contrast. And I'm reading out of the ESV, that your anxieties, that's a form of care, but it has a negative connotation. It's a care that's improperly placed inside of worry, if you will. And so it's the same as worrying. It's an improperly applied version of caring. But I love this. He's saying, cast your anxieties on me because I care for you. And I think it's interesting when we see that God truly does care. That's a properly applied aspect of caring, is when he cares. And it ought to bring us comfort that we can let go of our worries and our anxieties, stay consistent with humble excellence. God will exalt you. Why? Because God cares for you. He has a plan for your life, and he really does care. Well, again, I want to stay under 5 minutes. Let me know how you were blessed by this, or if this helped. You can do that a few different ways. Like this post and share this post, comment on this post, and get this into the hands of somebody who may need it today, in front of the eyes and ears of somebody who may need it today. Again, my name is Travis Marshall. God bless you. This is Lunch Punch from GrillChristian.com.